Where am I? Where is my home? A nomad again. We just got a new studio, and I'm being dramatic. It's the CHGO White Sox Podcast. Heyo! Welcome into the CHGO White Sox Podcast, coming to you live from Studio West. Did you hear that? Oh, Jake's on a call. It's Studio West. Ta-da! Look at this. Welcome into our new studio here in the CHGO offices in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, Joey Christopoulos.
Man, it's like moving into like a new apartment. Like, where is everything? What's going on?
You're technically northeast of me. So,
True.
I think today's Cubs show that I produced was probably the worst produced show in CHGO history.
Because it was, well, no. First of all, it was the first one, and when you know, like the first Sputnik in space, there's going to be some issues.
Oh yeah,
There'll be some
when
problems.
they were launching things up to space, it didn't really go too well for the first couple, 2-3 times. On today's show, we're going to be talking about ISHBIA meeting Bab. We'll be talking about the Pope and our new owner, or not even owner. Got to change that. We'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about the trades that happened with Boston and Tampa Bay when I was out on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then on Tuesday, we got the finalizations of the 40-man rosters across Major League Baseball. And I have done a tiny dive. I've dipped my toe into some Rule 5 guys. And that's why Joey has 10 graphics for me. So we got a lot to talk about
Locked and
today.
loaded.
If you have any thoughts, hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. I see Ryan hanging out with us, but he hasn't liked. There hasn't been a single like yet. Make sure you be that first person to hit that like button. Ryan saying the studio looks snazzy, and we're excited to show it off to you. Let's get into the important news. On Wednesday, Pope Leo got another jersey, the 14th, probably jersey that he's gotten just in his short time of being Pope. And this one was just a little bit different. This one is from Justin Ishbia, the steward, to use Ishbia's name word, steward, the next steward of the White Sox franchise. He invited Pope Leo to throw out a first pitch this year at a Sox game, along with inviting him to bless the new stadium whenever that happens. Imagine if that happens. The sitting Pope goes out to just a dirt field to bless the land. Kind of feels cursy.
Let him make the lineup one day. That's what I want.
Now you're talking.
And he's like, Benintendi, you sit down.
But you're gonna question him. He's talking to God. God's doing this. If God picked Dan Plezak's thing of Anderson Barger to hit a home run in Game 1, right? Would you doubt God? No. You're going to listen to God.
I mean, people have doubted God in the past, and it hasn't worked out well for them.
That's fair. Anyways, I think I'm going to start burning also while I start talking about this because my grandma's not too happy with my current religious affiliation. Anyways, John Greenberg of The Athletic got to talk with Justin Ishbia. Phone conversation. This is over at The Athletic. This is the biggest thing that stuck out. Not really that Ishbia met with the Pope. A ton of people from America seem to be going over there. There was, I think, a sports council that went over specifically. Ishbia was a part of it. This is what Ishbia had to say, though, when he takes over for Jerry Reinsdorf. He doesn't want to be called an owner. He likes the term steward. Quote, Jerry's the current steward. I am the next steward. The wording is important, John writes. Quote, you'll never hear me say the word owner of the franchise. I am the steward of a community asset. This asset, this team, this franchise belongs to the city of Chicago, and I am a temporary steward. There will be somebody after me who will have an opportunity to create memories for our fans in the city of Chicago. Folks.
Is it opposite day?
What the hell was that?
What did he just say? Those words together in a sentence, dude, my ears are burning.
I think more owners should meet the Pope. You can't tell me We haven't heard this before. And then he goes to the Holy Land, and now he's like, well, now I'm a steward for Chicago. This has to be something, right? Leo had to whisper into his ear and be like, hey, big man upstairs telling me you should be calling yourself a steward. I think this is going to catch on. I love this. There is no way around this. I think probably about 2 weeks ago, I think I even said the actual word owner is weird. You don't own these players.
Well, in fantasy sports,
this isn't yours.
I've had to like remove it from my lexicon in fantasy sports. Like, do you know when the ownership word is, it is a word that we should move to treat to land and inanimate objects, not human beings or really even animals.
It's truly just a antiquated word, and I really like the fact that the wording is important to Justin Ishbia. The fact that he is a steward, that he isn't coming to Chicago being like, hey, I know what's best for your city, a city that he hasn't lived in for long. I know what's best for your franchise, a franchise that's been here 125 years before I even, I guess he got involved in 2021. So, like, do the math. 121 years before I came along, right? Like, I really do appreciate where Justin is coming from this. It's tough to take a billionaire, any billionaire's words, as a matter of fact, but that's something. That's bucking the trend. Every single person in professional sports is called an owner. And I will have to truly get away from using that word to appropriately address Justin Ishbia, but I like the fact that he is a steward. There is obviously the current factor that he is not the owner/steward of the White Sox. The current chairman is Jerry Reinsdorf. The Athletic did break the story that Ishbia was increasing his minority stake with an eye of taking over the franchise. Then in June, they reached the deal where Reinsdorf can hand over control of the team to Ishbia by 2029. There's a window between 2029 and 2034 for that to happen. I have said, based off conversations that we had, Josh Nelson, I think, said this as well, that he thinks that it will be before that 2029 window. And it does seem like it's adding up to, he's going to wait this long? He's going to give a White Sox jersey that's signed by the 2005 team to Pope Bab, and he's like the front-facing guy? I know he's a large majority owner, a large minority steward right now, but it feels like he's approaching. And I've said this, like, you let the wolf into the chicken coop, the wolf's not going to be nice. He's playing nice for maybe about a couple hours, but at some point, the wolf that got him there is going to kick in, and it's going to be instinctual. I don't see this waiting until 2029. I think that is Jerry Reinsdorf having a positive outlook in life. Just to get real bleak, my grandfather, who's 79, was doing okay. Obviously, wasn't a pinnacle of health, whatever. But it was about 2 weeks that he really just kind of turned. It was about a one whole year that he just truly declined. This man is 89 years old. My grandpa stopped smoking cigarettes when I was in the 4th grade. Jerry Reinsdorf's a cigar aficionado, and you could find him smoking a cigar pretty much anytime he's in public. Like, I just have a feeling that if this lockout goes the way that Jerry Reinsdorf wants to, and he's able to participate in the negotiation between the Major League Baseball side and the player association side, I truly feel that Ishbia will take over once the lockout's done. I think that once the dust has settled on that, Jerry will be able to truly fold, because there isn't much left. And what Ishbia is telling the Pope, and we'll get to this a little bit later, Ishbia has his eyes on a new stadium. And I don't think he wants to build that until he is full out the steward of the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, the possible 2027 work stoppage is definitely an important wrinkle in terms of the timing and when Justin Ishbia will eventually probably take over majority stewardship of the Chicago White Sox. Like in 2027, like he has no incentive to be involved in any of those negotiations, right? I can't see a world where he would want his fingerprints on that at all for 1 second. So you just kind of hang back, you stay above the fray of it all. And from a PR perspective, you can always come back and be like, well, I wasn't a part of any of that. I'm now a part of the future. So that could also have, you're right, that's what probably is tying some things up. Or maybe just changing the timeline of, we were like, 2028, 2029. Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Well, that's
right after 2027, the possible MLB strike.
That's when the team's going to get good, too. Or do you think, hopefully, this is now wood, I can knock on it, hopefully they get good, and hopefully Ishbia is like, well, no, I want to put an influx of cash into this team, and let's, like, rev this engine up. Like, right now it sounds like he's patient and laying in the wings, and he's not really, like, eager in a way to take over. He's like, I just got here. I'm watching games from behind home plate, but I think the more he gets into White Sox baseball, the more and more he's just not going to be able to bite his tongue anymore. Like, at the end of the day, he has more money than Jerry Reinsdorf. What's the number? What's the number? Just keep asking, what's the number? And at some point, he's going to crack, and they're going to find that number, and Ishbia is going to be the majority stewardship.
Do you ever think at any point last year, Justin Ishbia is in his probably beautiful palatial estate mansion or wherever he's living, and he just watches, like, Colson hit a bomb? And he, like, looks at his phone, and he's like, should I call this number right now? And he goes, Justin, no. Wait, you promised yourself after the labor strife is figured out, you do it then. And then Colson hits another bomb, and he goes, but do I pick up the phone? Do I dial the number?
Don't know what their conversations are. I mean, Justin could see Jerry every single time and be like, hey, when you want to sell? Hey, about that number. What if we do, I'm not negotiating a $1 billion deal. I don't have billions of dollars. I don't know what these are like. But I find it hard that a guy that has gotten to this position in life is just going to quit. It's like, oh, well, we'll just be patient. People don't really have that type of patience to just, like, wait it out. The one thing that also Ishbia mentioned and we'll have to figure out is the stadium standpoint. So this is a quote from Ishbia. Jerry's the chairman. Jerry has 100% control of what happens with the White Sox. And so anything about the stadium, you should ask Jerry. But I'll say this. I'm 48, right? And the White Sox lease is up in 4 years after the 2029 season. I can't tell you exactly when, but in my lifetime, we're definitely building a new stadium. Whether it's 4 years from now or 34 years from now, I can't tell you when exactly this moment, but we will build a new stadium when I am the steward of the franchise. Maybe that's the more important year. Again, the whole thing with Jerry specifically is that he wanted to see the 100th anniversary of the All-Star game in a new White Sox stadium. And that seemed the reason to involve Ishbia, a guy on the real estate side with a ton of money that could possibly help see that plan to fruition. 29 to 34 kind of tells you, like, all right, well, I kind of want a stadium being built. And once the stadium's being built, maybe then that's when the true stewardship gets transferred. But, I mean, this guy's talking stadium. This guy's flying to Rome. This guy's meeting the Pope. As the White Sox representative, it feels like it's going to happen before 2029. And maybe that's the important thing, is the stadium, maybe if they get a deal before the lockout stuff happens, but, like, Soldier Field opens up, if the Bears domino falls, maybe that's when we start to see Ishbia movement. But if you're asking me over under the middle of 2028, I'll take the under.
I would also take the under too,
or at least before 2029.
I think
I don't know.
I think the opening of the window and then all the way to 2032 to have the opportunity to continue to soak up and absorb more majority stakes of the team. I think that was just a passive, or maybe more important, a tacit kind of like admission to Jerry to kind of keep them in the game a little bit. But, like, let's be honest, it's probably coming sooner than later. And you can already, and this is the other thing too, is that Justin doing this stuff now and talking to John Greenberg and stuff, this is laying foundation, right? This isn't just laying foundation and then, hey, I'll see you in 4 years. That's not how this works, right? He's starting to slowly build up at least some, social or PR equity in talking to reporters, meeting the Pope, getting excited about the White Sox. This is all building towards something that is going to be a huge initiative that either his new stadium or him taking over the team.
And this is the first, like, public-ish thing that he's done as a White Sox representative, right? I mean, you're bringing a jersey, so I'm going to call you a White Sox representative. The reason you're being written about by John Greenberg is because you're doing a White Sox thing. We haven't really seen, like, a profile on him yet. And I feel like he still has to make more of an introduction to Chicago, and that does seem imminent. If he's doing this, I think at some point the Sun-Times, Cranes, the Tribune, whatever, us, hey, Justin, are likely going to do a profile on the next steward of the White Sox, because this is a small introduction, and you're right. It's only going to get closer and closer and more as we get to the inevitable taking over of the White Sox by the ISHBIAs. If you have any thoughts, let us know in the comments. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. We're going to take a break here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. We'll be back to talk about 2 trades that they made on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then, I guess technically Tuesday, and then we'll talk about the 10 graphics that I made Joey make in about 10 minutes.
Line them up.
You were real fast. So let us know your thoughts. Hit the thumbs up. We'll be back here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. We want to let you know about our friends over at Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365. Sign up using code CHGO365. When you bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets, whether the bet of $5 wins or loses. And not only can you gamble on the NFL, you could gamble on the NHL, you could gamble on the NBA. There is so much currently going on in the sports world, your mind will probably explode. College basketball's back, both women's and men's. You could bet on anything. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365. There's a Thursday night football game on tonight. There's a $10 safety net bet that you can take advantage of over at Bet365. If you haven't signed up, use code CHGO365, deposit $10, and place a bet of $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, whether the bet of $5 wins or loses. And those bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365. Must be 21 plus. If you or someone who has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in-app only. We also want to let you know about our friends over at Brunt. I wish we had the boots. We should have brought the boots over from Studio A. We could have put the boots in the background. We got so much background now that we could have put the boots in the background.
We need the background boots. Background boots.
We need the background boots. We got to go get the background boots. They're the background of the short that went over. 400,000 on that. Bears are getting better, and there are the boots in the background. Brunt's best-selling Marin work boots are not only built for the toughest job sites, they're completely waterproof. Whether it's rain, mud, or standing water, your feet stand dry. They started on the Monday. I think it would have been 11/10. And it was the 8 inches of snow, lake effect snow that we got. We got the boots the day before. We were able to put them through the test, see if they were truly waterproof or not. Not only are they waterproof, they're extremely comfortable. They're not just about work boots. They offer a high-performance gear built for tough jobs, like pants, jackets, hats as well. But the boots are the best on the planet, and it's not just about comfort or durability. Sometimes you just have to choose one. These are not only durable as we put them through the test through the Chicago snow, they're comfortable. You can walk probably a mile in them before you even realize, oh, hey, I'm wearing boots. Those are the best kind of boots where you forget you're just even wearing boots altogether. Check out our friends over at Brunt. With temps dropping and the holidays coming, it's time to treat yourself or the hardworking man in your life to real comfort. Skip the throwaway gifts and get him something built to last. Brunt workwear. These boots will last you a lifetime. Our listeners get $10 off their entire order with CHGO at checkout. That's bruntworkwear.com and use code CHGO. Order today and let them know you heard it here on the show. I also don't think that I should have said lifetime because that's a very specific guarantee. That's the Sean Anderson guarantee. Okay, folks?
100%.
Brunt's not saying that, but I think they're going to last you a very long time.
To it.
I took the liberty to say lifetime, but I mean, what are you doing? You're going to ruin your boots like that? I don't know. I mean, probably working. If I was working with boots on, Joey, I think I'd probably be able to wear them a lifetime because podcasting isn't too strenuous. Yeah, that's the
external elements.
If you're working on an oil rig, maybe not lifetime. But if you're a podcaster, lifetime.
Hey, don't speak too fast. We don't know what's going to happen in Studio West.
That's true.
Things could get wild in here, and you might need them Brunt boots.
Yeah.
You never know.
I heard they're piping in fake snow, so we can really enjoy the elements. All right, let's get into the trades that happen on Tuesday, and they're not anything like super crazy. Steven Wilson and Yoendrys Gomez got traded to the Tampa Bay Rays. In return, they got Everson Pereira and Tanner Murray. Pereira is a center fielder. Murray is a second base, third base utility guy. There was also the trade that sent Ronnie Hernandez to the Red Sox for Chris Murphy. To get into the Murphy one first, Hernandez isn't a guy that I'm too concerned about. Did decent in the DSL, but then once he got to A-ball, the numbers got pretty pedestrian. And hey, right now, the one thing the Sox have is catching. Maybe they don't have it at AA and AAA and single A anymore, but they have 3 major league catchers right now. I'm not too concerned about dealing a guy in Hernandez for someone in Murphy that would hopefully give you 50 innings. I think that's a very easy and fair trade there. And let's get into Murphy and what he'll bring. I think it's very likely he'll be in the bullpen coming this year. It seems like this is going to be a person that is an upgrade over Tyler Gilbert. We can finally stop seeing Tyler Gilbert into offseason projection plans. But Joey, if you want to get into what's his face? I think I gave you a no. Okay, I thought I gave a Chris Murphy one.
Oh, I got Chris Murphy for you.
You got Chris
You want
Murphy.
a little Chris Murphy?
Oh, you got Chris Murphy.
I'll give you a little
for me.
Chris Murphy.
See,
Come
I
on,
gave
it's
you
Studio
Chris
West.
There you go.
We got Chris Murphy in Studio West.
So why would the Red Sox move on from Murphy? Pretty decent arm, 34 2/3 innings, 118 WHIP. The FIP is a 5.07, so his ERA outperformed his FIP. He likely should have had a higher ERA with his FIP being a 5.07. Fielding independent pitching is what FIP is. It's a 5.07. The ERA is a 3.12. So his FIP should have been closer to the 5s rather than this 3. And you could mainly see that with the lack of difference in the K percent to the walk percent. The things that pitchers in a way can control are strikeouts, walks, and then home runs. So that's really what's factored into FIP. He needs to strike out more, or he needs to strike or walk guys less. But the thing that sticks out with Murphy is the percentage that he uses his four-seam fastball. Boston really likes guys with cutters. They like to throw cutters on an 0-0 count. Murphy doesn't have a cutter. So that's part of the reason why they want to get rid of him. And then also, they have the lowest fastball usage out of all major league teams. So I think the White Sox see a guy that might be throwing his best pitch not enough. 104 TJ Stuff plus a 60 grade. We probably should be seeing that four-seam fastball enough or more. You could see the, I think, VAA, but just look at that real pink graph, that pink graph of dots along that dotted line where it says arm angle. That four-seam fastball is very, very good. The induced vertical break of 17 inches is very good. So this is a pretty primo fastball. He's getting a whiff percentage of 30% on that fastball. I think the White Sox think the Red Sox don't value fastball-heavy guys. They're not using him to his best of abilities. I think that this could be a pretty decent pickup. Murphy should be able to give you 50 innings. Will they be great innings? Maybe his ERA is around a 4, but I think that there's something here, and I think it was a very well-worth move that they did picking up Chris Murphy for Hernandez. And I don't think Hernandez was going to be the guy. So, goodbye, Ronnie Hernandez. Hello, Chris Murphy. They also made a deal where they sent Steven Wilson and Yoendrys Gomez to the Tampa Bay Rays for Everson Pereira and Tanner Murray. I am not too beat up on losing Steven Wilson. He was a guy that when originally acquired in the Cease trade seemed like a piece that they would eventually flip. Wasn't good when they originally acquired him. Started the season in 2025 in opening day or in AAA, and then had to work his way back into the White Sox bullpen. So I'm fine with the fact that they just kind of got something for him. They didn't let the kind of tree die out. And instead of having Steven Wilson give you 50 innings, you might have acquired your fourth outfielder. Pereira, and I hope I'm saying his name right, and I'll obviously learn it the more and more. He's Venezuelan. He's a former Yankee prospect, and obviously was traded to the Rays. He doesn't seem like a guy that I would give up hope in necessarily. Like, I do think that there could be something there with the bat. 21 homers and 10 doubles, like, isn't anything to scoff at. Doesn't have the greatest speed. He had 21 steals back in 2022. With the base changes, you'd think he'd have a little bit more, but only 9 stolen bases in 2025, even when he was at a major league level. 2 stolen bases, 0 caught stealing. So maybe you could see a little bit more there. The pop didn't show up at the major league level. A .46 slugging percentage. Didn't hit the ball a ton, only 9 hits, 2 homers, 1 double. But I think what he really is going to provide is just the fourth outfielder ability. It might not be pretty. I mean, maybe it's going to be like, who's that guy, Joshua Palacios? Maybe it'll be like a Joshua Palacios run for Everson Pereira. But there isn't a Michael A. Taylor layup fourth outfielder free agent. So I think they're turning their kind of bulk, what they have a lot of in Steven Wilson and right-handed bullpen arms, and turning it into something that there isn't much of a what's it called? Like just a plethora of, right? Like fourth outfielders.
Yeah, healthy inventory.
Fourth outfielders, there's not a ton out there. And this is a guy that has somewhat of a upside play. He might just be a career AAA player, like Ryan's saying. But if you don't give him the pressure of, hey, you got to go and be our 7th hitter day in and day out, and you're going to be our new everyday right fielder, if you give him that opportunity of being a bench bat and working himself into ways, maybe there's not a ton of pressure on them where, Pereira maybe will be able to pop. But I like Pereira better than like Dominic Fletcher. We don't need to do that again. So I like that idea. Murray is interesting. Right bat, right thrower, 4th round selection in the 2020 draft, 6'1", plays shortstop, second base, and third base. He likely won't play shortstop for this team, so you could pretty much just pencil him in at second base and third base, I think. He's sort of Curtis Mead-ish. 18 homers, 29 doubles in 137 games in Durham this year, 39 walks to 138 strikeouts. But when you look at his swing rates, he started swinging less. He started then obviously swinging at less pitches outside of the zone. But when he was swinging, he started swinging at more pitches inside the zone. So while the walks and strikeouts don't look pretty, it does seem like he has a decent understanding of the strike zone, and he pulls the ball. If he's going to hit the ball, he's going to pull the ball. So he's got 2 of the 3 things that you want if you're Ryan Fuller. He's got decent swing decisions. He's got the ability to pull the ball. I think you really just need to work more on contact with him. Maybe swinging and missing less will hopefully bring something out of Tanner Murray. He's Lenine-ish. If this guy got playing time over Lenine, I'm not crying. I don't think Lenine is special. Some people are like, oh, well, what are they going to do? You got to trade Lenine. He doesn't have any options left.
What are you trading him
Doesn't have
for?
a defensive position. I think that this is competition for Lenine. And if Lenine's not looking all right defensively, they might look elsewhere. I don't think that Lenine's spot is locked up here. So I like both of the trades. You traded from a place of extra. You traded from catcher. You traded from right-handed arms. Plethora.
Yeah, plethora.
Yoendries wasn't going to be a starter for you. I didn't have him in the starting rotation because you should be able to go out and add some arms in free agency. I think these are both solid deals from the White Sox. On Tuesday, though, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, just in regards to Gomez, just really quick. I mean, it's a small thing, and it doesn't exactly turn into immediate impactful results. But the fact that they were able to bring him up, get him through a few starts, and have him look halfway decent, and it goes to the player too as well, allowed the White Sox to be put in the position even to move on from a guy who probably isn't a fit, to try and get a couple pieces that either could be a fit in the future or could be different minor assets that can be packaged in other things to get the things that you want. And this is what you have to keep doing. Keep turning it over, keep bringing guys up, and hopefully having a stability with at least a coaching staff and a philosophy to have these guys kind of not look amazing, but look decent and look capable, so you can keep trying to switch things in and out until you get it's like Go Fish, right? You're trying to get the right cards that you want, and you keep kind of playing the game over and over again. So this is a part of that.
If Pereira learns to be a positive defender, steals some bags, maybe hits 8 homers, could you then flip him for something else? And not anything crazy, but you were able to trade Steven Wilson 2 years after the fact for Pereira, who's now controllable.
And it could be different pitching. It could be younger pitching. It could be all sorts of stuff. So this is where the variables can start to play in Chris Getz's favor a little bit when you keep turning these guys over, keep Again, another card reference. I'll take 2 cards. You keep getting different cards and seeing if you can match up and find that full house or that flush, and then that's when you really hit.
The other thing too, Pereira, he's out of options. So he might be a guy that gets 40-man crunched, and he might not be a guy that's like salivating where it's like, oh, we have to go get Pereira, So they could possibly sneak him through waivers. I think that this is a decent pickup for the Sox. Let's take a break here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. We might talk about Christopher Morel, as Ryan's asking in the comments, and we'll get into some 40-man stuff that happened on Tuesday. Morel's a part of that, and we'll get into some of the pitchers that I've liked so far in my introductory research into the Rule 5 draft. Let's take a break here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. We want to let you know about our good friends over at Ray Auto Chevy. Forget one day only. Black Friday is going on all month long at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. Come in today to shop the Black Friday sales event and drive home with 10 to 30% off MSRP on new Chevrolet models, plus no payments for over 120 days. You can also check out their new selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000 with one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. You'll be sure to find the perfect vehicle for you. And as one of the top selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, they're able to keep their prices competitive, so you'll know you'll get a great deal. And with Ray's Price Promise, the price you see is the price you get. There's no add-ons. There's no fees. There's no extras. The price you see is the price you get. That's the Ray's Price Promise. So go see for yourself. Visit our partner at their convenient location located on Route 12 in Fox Lake. Don't miss out on their Black Friday sales event going on all month long for 10 to 30% off MSRP on new Chevrolet models, plus no payments for over 120 days. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. We also want to let you know about our friends over at CHSN. If you're trying to watch a White Sox game, if you're trying to watch a Blackhawks game, if you're trying to watch a Bulls game, Chicago Sports Network is the place to be. Joey, we got a Bulls game? Blackhawks game tonight. Mario's here. That's why.
Mario's here. Kraken at the UC. Tomorrow night, Bulls Heat at the UC.
There you go. So there's your upcoming CHSN schedule. Thank you, Joey. Visit chsn.com/podcast to sign up for your 7-day free trial of the All Access plan, which gives you over 300 live games per year. Catch every basket and every goal from your mobile device, television, or wherever you want to watch. CHSN is your home for the Blackhawks and Bulls season all season long. Also, we're going to mention the White Sox. Chicago Sports Network, your home stream advantage. CHSN is also available on Xfinity, DirecTV, DirecTV Stream, and Fubo. Visit chsn.com for more details. Back here on the CHGO White Sox podcast, let's get into some of the 40-man crunch. Ryan saying, I think the Sox should take a flyer on Christopher Morel and move on from Sosa. At the end of the day, they're very similar. Sosa's been here, and Sosa's a part of the organization. So I would probably play onto the built relationships that Sosa has over Morel. Morel does have some tantalizing parts to his game. They both can't play defense. Morel could throw a ball, but he not well, can't play defense well. So, they tried him at third base because he got an arm, can't play it. They tried him in left field, can't play it. So there isn't really a spot on the field for Morel. The thing that he does very, very well, though, is swing a fast bat and make contact. On 75-mile-per-hour swings this year, and it was a small sample for Morel. He didn't get a ton of time in the major leagues with Tampa. He had a .311 batting average on fast swings, and that was the same as Giancarlo Stanton. And I think he had like a .568 slugging where Stanton was like a .711. So he's not as powerful as Giancarlo Stanton, breaking news, but he is able to put a real walloping on the ball when he is able to make contact. I think it's a similar-ish player. They both have severe flaws, but they both have offensive upside. I think at the end of the day, I'm tantalized by Morel's upside, but I think Sosa is just going to be – he's just got the edge. And at the end of the day, I just don't think they'll move on from a similar-ish player to pick up kind of the same guy.
My only counter to that is that if we're living in the world where we're giving, like, the guy that you mentioned in the segment earlier, Dom Fletcher, opportunities over the last couple of years, and if you're looking for, like, a fourth outfielder, I could see them at least inviting him to spring training and see, because I do believe that, I don't know if I hear everything that you're saying. I do think that the White Sox should be in the business of trying to catch lightning in a bottle. And Christopher Morel has shown for stretches at the major league level to be a bit of that lightning and a high energy guy and super passionate. And again, a little bit better speed than Lenyn Sosa just on the base paths. So I wouldn't be upset if they invited him to spring training to see if he could hit his way onto the team. I just don't. He's definitely not like a solution, but the Sox should be in the business of taking chances on guys similar to Christopher Morel if it isn't exactly Morel.
Yeah, and again, we're talking in the 40-man realm. So if this is a spring training invite, sure. I mean, why not?
I don't know. I don't know how he lands on a 40-man. Christopher Morel.
Yeah, they would have to cut Ben Cowles or Derek Hill or something like that, which is fine. They could do that. But I don't think Morel is a player that needs immediate action. He's gotten a really far run with two separate franchises. I think it's, let him pick his spot and see if he can have success.
Tampa Bay gave him a shot this year, a shot and a half.
Go to Colorado.
Yeah, I don't know their 40-man situation. Maybe he would land there, but he just feels like.
But I was saying, like as you mentioned, spring training invites. Like when he has his pick, I don't think he's going to get picked up after being DFA'd. I don't think there's any immediate reason for any team to act on Morel. So when you're talking about spring training invite, go pick Colorado and just hopefully they put you on your 26-man and go try to hit a ball 500 feet and just keep this narrative going that I am this insane kind of 6 feet of power. No, I mean he's interesting but not good,
unfortunately. And he's just as a north side perspective, he's a very fun player to root for. But there are many flaws in his game and tons of holes. Many of them that you've already illustrated and talked about.
We'll see. All right, let's get into some of the White Sox moves that they made. They left some players off the 30-man or 40-man, and then some players on. Tanner McDougal and Duncan Davitt were the two protected on Tuesday. They ended up being at 38, I believe, so they did have the possibility to protect two more. You'd want them to be at 39 because the Rule 5 pick would be added to the 40-man. So they're going to make a 40-man, a Rule 5 pick, so you'd want them to likely get to the 39. I was surprised that Aldrin Bautista wasn't, and I was surprised that Mason Adams wasn't. But at the end of the day, Adams is likely going to be out until July. If a team wants to take that shot on a guy coming off of TJ and, hopefully in June they get kind of a shot in the arm where this guy hasn't pitched for a whole year and is ready to go, maybe it seems like a gamble. Bautista, he's way too low, so the more I've thought about that, I mean, he's not even past AA. Like, I'm not too worried about a team taking Aldrin Bautista, although he is, got potential. The other two in Murphy and Paulette, Paulette's got good stuff, but he's tiny. And I don't know if he's going to be able to repeat this, where, the ball gets bigger, and I don't know, it's not a significant increase. He's still got 108 mile per hour or 108 graded TJ Stuff Plus fastball. It hasn't been too debilitating, but and I don't think that there is a true need to protect Paulette. I think McDougal and David give you similar ideas. They're both right-handers that are fairly big frames and that can trust their fastball. I don't know if Paulette has a good enough fastball to make it in Major League Baseball, where maybe he'll have to start cutting the baseball, and that's just going to change his pitch shape. I don't know if Paulette's my guy. Where you look at that, McDougal, 6'5" starter, can throw 4 pitches, unreal spin rate, no reason not to protect him. Glad they did. Getz thinks Davitt can give them starter innings, and I think he comes from a really weird place. No, not Getz, but Davitt. 6'9" average extension on his pitches. Nothing really sticks out Stuff Plus wise. 95 grade on his TJ Stuff Plus 4-seam fastball. 100 on his curveball, so average. 99 on his cutter. 104 on his sweeper. 90 on his change. 98 on his slider. 93 on his sinker. But the thing is, he's got a 19-degree arm angle. It's a very long stride. It's a very low arm angle. kind of what played into Shane Smith working well was once the pitch mix was found out, you have a big, tall righty coming at you with nearly 7 feet of extension at a very, very low arm angle. I think Davitt could be a very tough guy to pick up, where Murphy's like 30, beating up on kids in Double-A. Like, I'm not mad that they didn't protect him. I'm not mad they didn't protect Paulette, although I could see somebody taking him in the Rule 5. Adams, go ahead, be my guest. If you want to take a guy that's coming off Tommy John, okay. And Bautista, kind of the similar thing. Like, he's 21. There's no way that this guy would be on the Major League roster in 2026. So let's try to get him through. And there's a ton of these guys around Major League Baseball that these teams are just trying to get them through. The Red Sox have like a top 15 prospect that's like 21 years old that's unprotected. But the whole idea is that he's never played above advanced A, so you're going to give this 21-year-old a shot at Major League Baseball? Like, good luck. The White Sox need to make this pick count. They have the second overall pick in the draft. I don't think that they're taking position players. I think you could pretty much like write it in Sharpie. They won't pick a position player. There's some former first-rounders that are out there. I saw Gavin Cross be mentioned, former Royal pick that's a former top 10 pick. But he's just not hitting enough. Like, if there was a guy that was out there that was like, oh, well, he's at least got pop, and maybe we need to teach him, like, plate discipline. Like, if a hitter's being unprotected, they suck. The end of the day, if a player is not being protected for a Rule 5 draft and they're a former first-rounder, that player sucks.
Or like
or
a major flaw.
Right.
Like an immovable object. Just a huge, gaping, giant flaw in swing, approach, whatever it is.
Right. So Cross was at Double-A, Northwest Arkansas, back-to-back years, and his OPS went from a 770 to a 703, and he is now above the average age. You're going to take that guy, take him from Double-A where he sucked, and put him in Major League Baseball? Good luck. The Royals don't want to do that. The Royals, who picked him 9th overall, don't want to do that for him. A former top 100 prospect. I think that guy just stinks. I don't know. Maybe it's a Colson thing, but there hasn't really been anything, even when 2023, 203 batting average, 298 on base percentage, 378 slugging percentage. I just don't see it for Gavin Cross and for most of the hitters. I went through a large majority of the teams, and I found these guys that stick out to me in the Rule 5 draft. The first one is from Michael Suaro, from over at Sox on 35th. He threw out the idea of Reggie Crawford. Reggie Crawford is a former first-rounder. You could see that under season pitching summary, this says the 2024 AAA season. We are using these graphs from at TJ Stats, Thomas DeStico. You can go check out his website. I believe it's at tjstats.ca because he's Canadian. But Crawford, 8 2/3 innings pitched at AAA. Don't get too excited. 6'4", 235. Hasn't thrown a pitch. Kind of like Mason Adams. Is injured. But this is a former first-rounder, a former two-way player that, honestly, if he fails, might be a decent option at first. But he committed to pitching full-time in 2024. Did really well in Double-A. Did really well in Triple-A. And you look at the stuff, and it's just like absurdly tantalizing.
Damn.
Look at the 6.6 extension from the 6'4" frame. Look at the 34-degree arm angle. Look at the 104 grade on his sinker. Look at the whiff category. 35% on his sinker, 42% on his slider, 33% on his four-seam. And Joey,
I mean, get rid of the other pitches. If you can locate a 97-mile-an-hour sinker with that kind of whiff percentage.
Well, Joey.
I mean,
I haven't even talked about a sinker. See that 1030 access next to his extension?
I do.
Okay, so a 1030 access from a left-hander is pretty bang on to Josh Hader.
Yeah, it's Chris Sale. That's Chris Sale territory, right? Isn't he like?
Oh no, Sale's way lower.
He's like at 8 though, right?
Oh, access wise? Oh yeah, his arm angle is like a lot lower, so I think that changes the access a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean like this might be Josh Hader. Ryan says he's seen him pitch in AAA. His stuff looked good. He's going to get picked up for sure. Like, it does seem iffy. He's injured. Hasn't pitched a ton. Like, even before 2024 when he got hurt, because he was half of the time hitting. It's a huge project, but I want to see a whole year from him. If he sucks in the first half and then finds something in the second half, do you really care about the first half? I don't know. This stuff seems major league-ish, so I'd gamble on him, but he's not my number one because I think that it seems a little bit too, there's too many holes in this plan. If they weren't picking second overall and they were picking like 30th, maybe, but this seems like a little bit too much of a gamble. Let's go to Alex Pham. I think this is the guy. And I know this is only 3 2/3 innings pitched in AAA, and the frame isn't crazy. 5'11". He's pretty tiny. But look at the K rate. And I know, again, it's only 14 plate appearances, but 35.7%. The walk rate's 7.1%. Let's look at this.
The stuff is what you like.
108 stuff plus.
Yeah.
101 curveball, 102 slider. And the main thing about this is that four-seam fastball shape. 20.1 inches of induced vertical break. He's not even throwing it above 93 most of the time. And it's an arm angle at 84 degrees. This ball is so unique. Like one of the most dramatic arm angles at 84 degrees you'll find out there. And the fact that he's able to get 20.1 inches of induced vertical break, like this ball would rise. That's why you see that chase percentage at 36.8%, because guys think that ball, especially coming from that frame, is going to hit the top of the zone or like be in that zone where you're able to create power. And then it just completely rises up and over the bat and you whiff on it. If you're looking for something that's going to work, this guy throws a pitch 57% of the time and gets a chase percentage 36.8% of the time. That was kind of the idea that they did with Shane Smith, was this guy throws a fastball 60% of the time. We know that his fastball is going to work. We just got to work on everything else. I don't think Pham's a starter, so I don't know if he's my guy, but God, that's tantalizing. That stuff looks good. Alex Hop, we got to get through these quick because we're already over 45 minutes. This is from the Red Sox system, 45 1/3 innings pitched out of 2025. The arm angle is still pretty steep. 56 is dramatic. Mostly a fastball guy, so I don't know if Boston wants him. That's kind of why he's unprotected. 34% fastball, 33% cutter, and then 25% slider. All of those pitches are above the normal. 102 stuff plus on his four-seamer, 107 on his cutter, 110 on his slider. And look at all that whiff. 21.9% on his four-seam, 33% on his cutter, 35% on his slider. Hell, the changeup's got a 48% whiff rate. This stuff looks nasty, and I like, too, the pitch usage. He's throwing everything, whether it's to a lefty or a righty. He's throwing you his fastball. He's throwing you his slider. He's throwing you his cutter. He worked the changeup into lefties, but for the most part, like, that's a three-pitch guy, and all three of those pitches are above average. So Hop looks interesting. Got 2 more? 3 more? 4 more. All right, let's get through these. Will Dion. He's a Guardian.
Will Dion.
99 innings pitched. The stuff plus isn't great, but I think you can get starting innings from him, and he's a lefty. The four-seam fastball velocity isn't great, but look at that induced vertical break of 19.2 inches. It's, again, similar to what we've talked about before.
Old school curve.
Oh, double curve, dude. We'll talk about the double
curves. Slow and slower.
So, yeah, the four-seam isn't great. Obviously, it doesn't have great velocity, but it's kind of like Will Thorpian, or Drew Thorpian, like a pretty high of the zone fastball and then a changeup that doesn't grade out well, but the fact that it's 82 miles per hour really throws the timing off, and you could see the chase percent and whiff percent being over 30% on the change. It's an interesting mix that I think, he gets a little crafty as you see the slow curve and curveball. I don't think he's going to be the pick because he's 5'10", and there's not much else you can get from that frame, but interesting. I mean, the curve and the slow curve's real fun. He's got one that throws at 81 and then one at 77. It's very weird. Here's the next one. Jose Rodriguez in the Dodgers organization. 6'6", 24 years old, 42 innings pitched at AAA. You can obviously look at the ERA, and it's not great, but he's in the PCL, so some of this isn't really fair to him. You could look at the 33.7 K rate and the 14.2 walk rate. Having a 20% difference between your K rate and your walk rate's very good. About a 60% strike rate. That's around where Shane Smith was. But this is a a very low arm angle, 21 degrees from a righty's low, gets huge extension, 7 feet extension on pretty much every single pitch, majorly features a changeup. I don't know if the fastballs are what I like necessarily. They're real low, and there's not enough arm run, right? Like it's a little bit too close to that changeup. If those four seam and sinkers were a little bit more arm side, maybe they'd be a little bit more effective. But hey, when you're getting a 67% whiff rate on your changeup, that'll play. Not a bad idea. I like it. Got 2 more?
We do. Oh, just real quick on Jose Rodriguez. I think his problem is he just throws a lot of pitches.
He does throw a lot of
He
pitches.
averages 18.5 pitches per inning. So
that's a lot. Yeah, and I think it's mostly because you're not able to get whiffs on your 4 seam and sinker, where the changeup does it, but the changeup can be spit on.
Well, and it just
to
looks
where
you see the walk rate at 14%, but a high like chase rate. You're like, oh well, he's just losing on 3-2 counts.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Right, because he doesn't have a 4 seam fastball. What are you going to throw the changeup? Well, you're not going to swing.
100%.
Jared Lyons, 6'1", 25 out of the Reds organization. Steepish arm angle, 51 degrees here. Nothing jumps out massively. Okay. That's really it, actually. I don't know why I picked him. Sammy Terra Jr., 6'4", 230. This one's interesting, too. Super steep arm angle from the left side, 71 degrees, kind of similar to Alex Pham. Can throw it around 95. So you wonder, with being a 6'4" frame, could he ratchet it up a little bit? And the 4-seamer's good. I mean, 72.7 pitch percentage. He's getting a 32% whiff rate. So I think there's a lot of guys out there. We're going to continue to learn more about them. But if they're looking to replicate what they did in last year's draft, they're looking for Vassals, they're looking for Shane Smiths, they're looking for bigger guys that can grow into what they've already done, that maybe can add on a mile per hour velocity-wise or 2 mile per hour velocity-wise and start getting some whiffs. So kind of building off of what guys already have, that's kind of the idea. I think Alex Hoppe is probably my guy that I like the most. And it's not a bad idea to pick from the Red Sox organization and the guys that mainly specifically feature the 4-seam fastball from that organization. We're going to do it. We're going to wrap it up here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. Of course, everyone starts commenting at the end of the show. Hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. We got 8 thumbs up. Appreciate Akira Wells saying, just got here. What'd I miss? Something about the Pope's arm slot? Bab's arm slot is very low. Submarine from Bab. Probably about a -16 on the arm angle. He's like that Tyler. Is it Tyler Taylor?
Pick one. Oh no. Which one's the submariner?
Yeah.
Tyler.
He's like that Tyler Rogers guy dragging his knuckles on the dirt.
That's Chad Bradford. And then big Moneyball.
And that Moneyball Chad Bradford.
Could have had him. Could have kept him on the Sox. Didn't do it.
Bears. Goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.